Britain is cracking down on two more Russian oligarchs. As the Foreign Office announced in London on Thursday, assets worth up to £10 billion from Davidowitsch and Eugene Tenenbaum will be frozen. They are close business friends of the already sanctioned multi-billionaire Roman Abramovich. Tenenbaum is director of the English football club Chelsea, which Abramovich previously owned. We are increasing the pressure on Kremlin chief Vladimir Putin's war machine and targeting those closest to the Kremlin, British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss said in a statement. The ministry stressed that the sanctions imposed so far have profound and damaging consequences for Putin's ability to wage war. Russia is heading for the deepest recession since the collapse of the Soviet Union. Currently, £275 billion, and thus around 60% of Russia's foreign exchange reserves, are frozen. And also, the British Army chief has demanded that plans to reduce the number of troops on duty to the lowest level since the Napoleonic era be reversed following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. General Sir Marc Smith said the war in Eastern Europe should give the government food for thought and prompt them to reconsider plans to reduce the number of soldiers in the army to 73,000. The Chief of Staff appeared to criticize the planned cuts outlined in last year's defense review. General Sir Marc Smith appears to be opposed to government plans to reduce the army to its smallest size since the Napoleonic era. Secretary of Defense Ben Wallace had announced that if implemented, the army would lose 9,000 troops by 2025, bringing the army to its smallest size in more than 200 years. And Sir Marc appeared to be breaking with tradition of serving armed forces chiefs not to criticize government decisions after making the comments at the Policy Exchange think tank. The general said Putin's unjustified invasion of Ukraine could mean the defense review should be re-examined. He said, "I think that our structure and the growing shopping list of potential outcomes in the wake of the redefinition of European defense and deterrence that Ukraine is sure to announce will, I think, require more from the field forces, and I would like to see larger investments into a larger army." So Marc said the Russian invasion of Ukraine meant cuts outlined by the government should be re-examined then. And it's, of course, we have the same discussion here in Germany, and I hope that we will not make that mistake, but put more money in it. So Marc added that the numbers of soldiers, as I said, would be 73,000 after that. That's, by the way, far less than we now have in Germany. But we must also accept that in order to build a broader, balanced force, not only in traditional environmental domains of land, sea, and air, we need greater investments in the new, novel, man-made domains, particularly cyber, he said. And at an event, he was joined by Labour MP John Speller, who backed a war in Ukraine and indicated that the latest defense review needed to be re-examined. Mr. Speller, who sits on the House of Commons Defense Committee, said he would like to see the size of the army remain the same in the meantime, instead of the treasury-driven cuts which have been widely criticized. And a Ministry of Defense spokesman said, "Over 4 years we are investing an additional £24 billion in defense, the largest investment in the UK armed forces since the end of the Cold War, which will help equip the British Army with new tanks, armored vehicles, and attack helicopters. To address the growing threats, we have launched the Army's Radical Future Soldier reforms to make the service more agile, deadly, and expeditionary, including the new Ranger Regiment, ready to join forces with partner forces to be used all over the world." The cuts outlined by Defense Secretary Ben Wallace last year come at the moment when Vladimir Putin ramps up his aggression in Eastern Europe. And Sir Marc, who ran unsuccessfully for the role of Chief of the Armed Forces, made the comments before stepping down from his post as Chief of the Army in June. He is to be replaced by General Sir Patrick Sanders, who has experience in cyber, special forces, and military intelligence. After being announced as his successor, Sir Patrick says he was deeply honored to take over at such a crucial time for the future of the British Army. He said the Russian invasion of Ukraine is a stark reminder that the world is becoming increasingly dangerous and insecure as land warfare descends on Europe for the first time in decades. The British Army will play its part in defending the UK and our allies as we have for centuries. And that is a point. There will be big changes in the military decisions in all countries across Europe and NATO in the next years. We are seeing this in many countries already, like I said, here in Germany, but the strategy of NATO will change. I'm quite sure about this. And a lot of tactics and strategies will change all over the place. And so we will see what will be the outcome. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.